Welcome back to the Ben Mulrooney Show. Air travel in this country, around the world, it's always the evolution of how you get through security. It's a tale of it's like one step forward, two steps back sort of thing. And everything was progressing very well until 9/11, and then after that, it just became impossible to carry anything on or to get through an airport in 10 minutes like you could just a few short days before. And then Richard Reed decides he's going to wear bombs in his shoes, and then you got to take his shoes off. And that recently changed. In my humble estimation, if you are a member of the Trusted Traveler community, if you're in Nexus or in the States, if you're on Clear or one of those Trusted Traveler communities, you can travel as quickly today as you ever could. With the new technologies and the fact that they realized if a woman is wearing stilettos, she probably doesn't have a bomb in her shoes. And so you can now keep your shoes on again. But now the Americans have thrown a new wrinkle at people who are traveling from Canada to the United States. For some reason, U.S. border officials are now seizing and searching travelers' phones, laptops, tablets, and other electronic devices at the highest rate ever recorded, with Canadians potentially caught in the crosshairs. So to discuss this, we're joined by Francis Sims, the Associate Dean of the Faculty of Science and Technology at Humber Polytechnic. Welcome to the show.
Hey, happy to be here, Ben.
Why are they doing this?
Well, because they can, right? I think the Trump administration is very focused on enforcing the laws, especially as it comes around people coming into the country. And so they have the legal ability, when you cross the border, to take your phone and to search it, right?
So just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. What should determine whether or not you do it is if there's some sort of risk to not doing it.
Yeah, and I think the idea here is that all they have to do is determine that there's a national security risk of some sort. It could be anything from maybe illegal material on your computer, maybe you downloaded a movie, a song.
Sure, but you don't. But if they don't have, I'm using expressions that probably don't apply. But if you don't have probable cause to look into it, why would you? It takes up time. It takes up time and money, and gums up travel, which I just talked about off the top. It's finally getting better in terms of getting through the airport. So is this the Donald Trump administration peacocking, like showing they're doing something when it's really they're really not doing anything?
Yeah, I think there's a messaging, a storytelling piece here for sure. But what we know is this year we're on track for having 50,000 devices searched at the border in Canada, and that's like 10 times more than it was just 10 years ago.
Okay, so what do we tell people if they're going down to the States and they've got their work computer and they've got their cell phone for work as well? What do you tell them, or what do we tell them about how they can protect their data?
Yeah, so there's a couple of things to do. One is you could have two devices, which isn't affordable for most Canadians or practical. Yeah. And you never want a clean device when you go to cross the border because that raises suspicion too. So I think in principle, what they can do is they can look at anything that's on your device.
Yeah.
So if you have sensitive data, make sure it's in the cloud. If you're going across with Facebook, social media on it, and you might have a friend that says some stuff that might be sensitive or they might not like, log out of Facebook, log out of Instagram. Simple things like that. If they ask for your phone, unlock it for them. Don't give that password because that password will be recorded. 10% of all the phones that they take, roughly speaking, are now being used by this forensic software to basically copy it or clone it on their system, and they can retain that for days, if not weeks. There's law enforcement software that's being used. I don't know why they would do it, but it's happening.
Okay, so I have to assume that they are not doing this to every traveler.
No, it's actually less than, I think, 1 in 1,000 people that go across the border. So we hear about the stories. 50,000 is large, but it's not everybody, that's for sure.
Is it? So this is like the secondary search line that they used to have. They put SSS on your boarding pass, and if you ever got that, it was an extra 10 minutes out of your day. Is this the 2025 version of the SSS?
Yeah. I think so.
So they look at you and they say, Why not? Let's take this guy into the other room and let's examine his.
It feels completely random. It doesn't feel like
Okay.
there's really any just cause. It depends on maybe the person that border patrol person saw the previous, just before you. Maybe
Yeah.
they had a bad experience and they're having a bad day and they want to search everybody.
Right.
And we have no recourse in Canada. You can complain to the privacy commissioner. Whether or not it does a lot of good, you can argue about that. But the bottom line, if you're a foreign national in the U.S., you have very limited rights. And if you refuse, they can just take your phone, or worse, they can detain you or put something on your record that you
Yeah.
can't come back in.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. What is the worst case scenario for a Canadian here?
Yeah, so if you go across the border and you do not give them the password to your phone, they have two choices. One is they can detain you under some sort of suspicion because they're concerned it's a national security risk, or they can take your phone and hold on to it. I think they're allowed to take it for 5 days, and then beyond that, they have to get a supervisor's approval to keep it longer.
Yeah.
But you could have your phone there for years. So, but the worst thing that could happen is you could be turned away at the border, and there could be a flag put on your passport that says you can't come back in for another 1 or 2 years. Which, if you have family or friends down there or business,
Yeah.
that's a huge issue for us.
It's to me, this entire thing is a head scratcher because I would love to see the data from prior to when they were doing this that indicated that this was something that needed to be tackled. Like I know that there have been issues of national security with people from certain cultural communities who want to go down to the States, for example. The guy wanted to kill all the Jews in New York City or something like that, and he got stopped. But by and large, I can't. That guy's an outlier. I don't know what problem they're solving for, and I get it. It's national security. National security.
We're friends, we're colleagues, we're sisters, brothers,
Yeah.
cousins. It just doesn't make any sense at all.
It's
So I think it's peacocking, like you said.
Have you been stopped?
I have been stopped. I went across the Windsor border about 2 months ago. My daughter is starting her PhD in Chicago next month.
Congratulations to her.
Thank you.
Okay, so what happened to you?
So they stopped me. They asked some questions, and then they took my phone. They took it aside behind the counter for about 15 minutes, and then they gave it back to me, and that was it. And now my life is pretty boring.
So they were snooping through your stuff.
They were probably snooping through my stuff. They didn't disclose. I could see them doing it there, but they don't have to show you exactly what they're doing because that's potentially secret methods for investigation.
Well, someone pointed out that in Canada, if someone is in transit from one country to another and they stop in Canada, and then something goes wrong, they run afoul of the law while they're waiting for their next flight, the Charter of Rights and Freedoms applies to that person. It applies to people in Canada. It doesn't matter who you are or what. So the protections that I have under the Charter are the same for that person who was only going to be here for 2 minutes. That's not the same system as they have in the United States. In the United States, they have, because all of this is violations of people's rights.
That's right.
It's egregious violation of rights. And were they to do it to American citizens, I think they would be in court really
There would
quickly.
be lawsuits.
But we don't have the same protections as they do. So
But the best thing you could do is clean your phone as clean as possible, log out of everything you can, and just log in and give it to them if they want. Now, strictly speaking, they're not supposed to be able to get information from the cloud. So what you can do is put it in airplane mode.
Yeah.
Now, whether or not the border officer actually complies with that, I don't know.
Yeah.
But put it in airplane mode. That means that if they can't connect to Facebook, they might not be able to see what your crazy friend put up there yesterday when they were camping.
yeah, it's so weird because what if my battery's dying? I'm going to be they're going to cast suspicion on me because I forgot to charge my phone the night before. It's as simple as that.
It could be as simple as that.
It's just it's crazy, and I can't believe it happened to you as well.
Yeah.
How long did that entire process take?
I was probably the border lineup was really long. I had to wait 2 hours just from the point where I was entering the bridge to crossing it. And I suspect because they were searching a lot of people.
Yeah.
Once I got to the border official, it was about a half hour.
Wow, and so half an hour to get through that part, and then you're back in the car and you're on your way.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh my goodness, Francis Sims, thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure. Anytime, Ben.
This is,
Thank you for having me.
I don't like this tone that they're striking. Thanks so much for watching the show. Now, if you enjoyed what you saw, hit that subscribe button so you never miss another episode of The Ben Mulroney Show.